Well, thank you, and I believe I'm pressing a button in the hope that it will move along now to the next slide. I haven't had to press a button all day, so suddenly I'm in control. Am I? No, I'm not. Well, anyway, what I'm going to do, it doesn't matter. It's autonomous, you see. Somehow or another it'll work. I just want to, at the moment, it's really, it says on the agenda that it's an open forum. And that really means it's a discussion that any of you can raise any point, right? Our friend from R&D tax credit, I've heard this and I think you ought to know more about it. Are there any, it's a forum about business growth. Is there anything you've particularly learned or you'd like to highlight or you'd like to ask? Someone else in the audience will have the answer. Don't worry, I won't pretend to. But if you don't have a forum, then you're going to get an early chance to network some more. Maybe you're talked out. Well, that's good news for those who want to get home early. Okay, good. Well, that's I'll do a closing summary, and that you've relieved the pressure. I tell you what, I was sitting there thinking earlier about, just before I came on, that's why I was a little late, winners make the best teachers. And I just remember when we created the concept of this conference was, who will be the best guide to get you through the opportunities and challenges? Why don't you talk to people who win in business? They'll get you through. And I can't help but say we've delivered a grid full of winners that you must surely, all of you, taking something back that will help you build that 3 or 5 year strategy that you're going to need. I should just in passing mention that the government, before it went to the election, and I'm pleased to say after that, it created an industrial strategy. And I heard the other day they had 19,000 replies from people all over the country, including the MIA, and many others in the room. And it's an industrial strategy for the UK, which you can just, if you're that way inclined, you can just have a look at it and download it and see what their original strategy was, which they then put out for consultation. And as I say, 19,000 different replies have been received, which is commenting on the first time we've had an industrial strategy for some years. You'll see from our reply, which I shall publish shortly, the amount of synergy with the conference you've had today. And it just means that the landscape in the UK, I know we have plenty of guests here from around the world, from China and from Europe, but at the moment we're talking about Motorsport Valley and our community. That industrial strategy is going to give you some guidance for the if you like, national landscape, particularly the investment in R&D in the UK. I urge you, if you're seriously looking at your strategy, just have a look at that. You can flick through a few pages, you can read some summaries. It'll give you some guidance as to what you can expect. And when I threw that comment away about R&D tax credits, it's very clear from that what the UK government is going to be doing. And you heard it from our good friend Kevin Bourne at Innovate UK. This is going to change the research and development landscape in the UK. I hope what else has come over today is the word collaboration. You've probably heard so many times, but I said earlier, it's the value of this business community, your business community. This is about you, and I have to say, in some modesty, and your association. We've only grown to what we have become with you. We don't exist without you, our members. And if you're not a member and you know a member or you just want to know more about it, we always want more members to add more strength to the collaboration, more strength to our arguments with government. And there is no question that if you stay close, as I think Mark mentioned, over the next 2 or 3 years, those co-members of yours are the ones that you will share knowledge, share news, and you will overcome some of these challenges. It has been proven in years past by that strength of that community. It's cold outside the community, someone once said, and it is. It really is. Get involved in that community. You don't have to turn up to everything, but get involved, ask questions. All day, every time I step off the stage, there's another, could you help us with this? Could we go in this direction? What do you think about going there? It's even somebody having full-time consultancy on breaking into the American market. But I welcome that. That's what your community does. And how can we help our friend get into America? We'll talk to other people who succeeded in America, and we'll say to him, this is what you can do. And it saves, in the long term, It saves money and it makes the involvement of you with your association more valuable to you. So please consider joining our community. Work together, I think I got that, work together, collaborate. Gosh, I've said this so many years, I can't even remember, long before the MIA. I can promise you, from my own successes in business, your apparent competitor could easily be your closest ally. And you may think that's perverse, but it isn't. The people that's really affecting your competitive output are regulations, planning, health and safety. These are the people that really affect your productivity. That person you think is the competitor really isn't. They have exactly the same enemy. You both have the same enemy. We want to get our tax rates down. We want to get our planning permissions. We want to employ more people. You're an ally on those things. So when it gets down to the real competition, whether you're a little bit more expensive or cheaper or your product's better, that's the fun part of the business. That's where you do compete. On everything else, work together, because then you can change laws. We were involved with MSA and many others, and some of you helped. You know, let's not miss the point that in March or April this year, we changed British law. We, the community, changed British law to allow motorsport on our public roads for the first time in decades. Now, any other industry in a business growth conference would mention that. We haven't even thought about it. You changed the law. You're now going to take the sport on which you make money into city centres so that the public can enjoy it and see it and understand your products better. Suddenly your hidden brand that can only be seen on racetracks in the UK is going to become a public brand. That's law. We changed it. The community changed it. So your apparent competitor is quite often your best ally. Like our friend here who wants to know about America, his apparent competitor is going to be the one that helps him go there. Then when they get to America together, let them compete. Product for product, price for price. The other one, I just ring the bell 100 times, export, export, export. This is a golden moment when your currency has suddenly changed if you're exporting from the UK. And someone always says, when I say that about currency, but you're missing the point of increasing costs of materials. You are in a high value added engineering business. The content of that imported material is significantly less in our high value sector than it is in mass manufacturing. So why I get really annoyed with the media, because it frightens the hell out of all of us, is, whoa, you won't make any money, you're just going to collapse. You think about your imported material content and think about how much value you add to that, and it won't matter as much to you as it does to Nissan or any of the mass manufacturers. So you suddenly, in that strange currency world, you are now just free to be really competitive with exporting. Grab it with both hands. I disagree with some of the government direction. They're obsessed with attracting new people into exporting. You know, Emily just finished a snap survey of our industry. 80% of the MIA members export, 80%. And I think the average at the moment is 40% of their turnover is export across the board, those that we surveyed. We are born to export. You've never had such a boost. And where I disagree with the government is training people to start exporting and taking them on their first export mission to India, one of the most complex markets to export to. Why wouldn't they go to Ireland, which is one of our best export markets, and speak our language? If you want to learn how to export, just go somewhere local, test it local. But in terms of motorsport, that's Europe. The largest market in Europe is just a car journey away. So work on Europe if you're new to Europe, if you're new to export, and if not, go to the markets that buy a lot already and just sell a lot more. Although I'm undermining Benjamin's plans, Benjamin is very clear. If you've got an English-speaking market that is booming like America is, get a plane to America, double your exports in America, and use the profits to go out to China and do the long haul. So grab those markets. They are right in front of you. Use government money, I wrote here. Use it in R&D tax credits, your money. When we talk about government money, it's our money. You've worked damned hard to give it to the government and get it back. There are lots and lots of schemes. All these billions of pounds, they're your billions of pounds. So don't hold back. Go and fish in that pond and get them back. And they really are, and through our friend at Innovate UK, he's handling billions of pounds. And that's for you. So take your little piece. Don't think, well, I'm not in the billion class. These grants are coming through at £50,000, £20,000, through local enterprise partnerships and everything else. I ended up that saying that Mark Jenkins has now turned into a little bit of a strange slide, I'm afraid. Churchill did say in the endless chaos of war, the best thing to do is don't waste time worrying, keep buggering on. So I'll probably end up with KBO as my advice. Don't get fixated on what's the problem, grasp the opportunity and KBO. And if you can, then by all means join the MIA or come along to any of our events. Our non-members are always welcome, and we'll keep working hard to grow your business. I now have a few slides, I hope this works, where I have to say thanks. Our student members have helped us throughout the day, and thank you for your patience. Some have nipped out early. As soon as that racing noise started, we found they wavered. I don't blame them. But without them, we couldn't run it. I think I can say that in front of you are the names of all the people that have taken showcase displays that you've been out to see, and they are really magnificent, and I thank you all for that. It adds so much to this kind of conference in this fabulous setting on the front lawn of Otmar. And whatever you do, cheer for the pink cars at the weekend. You know, we've ruined his grass. The least we can do is cheer for him. And I was dying to tease him about managing his drivers this weekend, but you know, that's a bit passé, isn't it? He's managing them to lots of victories, lots of successes. So thank you to all of those who you joined with showcases. Our partners are invaluable, and as you can see, we've had really tremendous support from these companies, and they've been around the room and you've seen them all. Thank you most sincerely. We can't run, our resource is not funded entirely by our membership. In fact, far from it. We're a not-for-profit organization, so without partners, we're not going to get anywhere. So thank you all. We really appreciate that. And I think the most important, you've given up your time and your enthusiasm. Thank you for joining us. We'd be pretty lonely without you being here. It's been a real pleasure to compare this, or whatever you want to call, question mastering it and so on. And next year, I think Kevin has come up with a cracking idea. We'll do technology and entertainment, and how do you make money out of entertainment? Because by next year, motorsport will be more entertaining than it is right now. That is for sure. So we ought to be making some money out of entertainment as well. High performance engineering, motorsport and entertainment. So we have a whole new life ahead of us. And I look forward to seeing you then. Please come to other MIA events and stay in touch with us. And good luck in your plans ahead. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.